I was scrolling through the comments as I usually do in order to pick some of the best ones to make the next video that I'm making, where I came across one where someone was talking about Hank Williams, and it kind of struck a chord with me. I wanted to find out about this guy. I'd heard about his name so many times, and apparently he had died quite young too. He's one of these musicians who died really early on, and it turns out he died at the age of 29, very sadly, of course. And my fascination grew, and I learned about how influential he was in his time and how people were saying he's going to become a huge star in the way Elvis eventually became. And so I'm really curious to hear his music. Alongside this, I also learned that he was taught the guitar. He was given guitar lessons by an African-American blues musician, Rufus Payne. And so once again, blues comes up in the kind of discussion when it comes to American music, or the music of the 60s and 70s. It seems like blues music is really the kind of foundation for all of it. And so here we go. This is a Hank Williams live performance. This is a slightly different video to the ones that I normally listen to. So let's check this out, see what Hank Williams is all about. Okay, here we go. This is a rare Hank Williams video taken from 1952. The track is called Cold Cold Heart. You will have to excuse the video. It looks like it was recorded on a potato, but that is all they had back then. So here we go. Let's get into the music.
You folks enjoyed so much here the other time, and we're happy that we could bring him back to the program. A fellow that writes just as many songs as most anybody in the country and sings them just as well when it comes to the country style of singing. Hank Williams.
Hank Williams.
Thank you, Roy. I've got a song here that I'd like to do that's been awful kind to me and the boys. It's bought us quite a few beans and biscuits. This is the best song we've ever had financially. A little tune called...
He said it's bought us a bunch of beans and biscuits. Wow, I love the reference.
Cold, cold heart. I try so hard, my dear, to show that you're my every dream. Yet you're afraid each thing I do, it's just some evil scheme. A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart.
I mean, the thing that strikes out to me the most is kind of how innocent music was around this time. It feels like to me something happened around 63, where it's like people didn't really, or young people, I should say, weren't really looking towards so much of this kind of style where it's really kind of sweet, innocent in a sense. A lot of people have pointed out to me around that time is, of course, where Kennedy was assassinated, and maybe it shook up the world in a way where culture needed to reflect what was happening in terms of the musical output of people need to reflect this new world that they lived in. That's what I think and what I've heard too. But this is really a kind of look into a different time, which I think is really cool.
Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Another love before my time made your heart sad and blue. And so my heart is paying now for things I didn't do. In anger, unkind words are said that make the teardrops start.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet. He's like talking about getting with a girl who has a lonely heart and they're sharing their past with each other. Very innocent and very simplistic musically too, right? It's just a dude singing on his guitar with strings backing it up.
Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold There was a time when I believed that you, babe.
Is it just me, or do people even behave differently just the way that everything is shot and the way he's standing, he's so kind of he's statuesque, he's like presenting this person in front of you. Whereas I think people nowadays want from the musicians like a look into their brains and their hearts and minds. They want them to be themselves more. It's quite, I don't know if I'm just if it's just me who's catching this.
Belong to me. But now I know your heart is shackled to a memory. The more I learn to care for you, the more we drift apart. Why
That's sad.
can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?
Okay, I didn't really talk too much about the music there, but I feel like lyrically is where the best of the song came out. If I was to have the lyrics up and be reading them, it's like this kind of poem, I guess, about trying to get to the heart of this young lady who's through past events, she's gone colder, and he's trying to reach out to her, which is really sweet. Again, it's very innocent and reflective of the time. When I listen to music of this era, it's generally like this. And I think to me, the music that sticks out that is kind of anti-sweet or whatever you want to call it, like innocent, was blues music. Blues music often talks about the pain and things going wrong, or a girl cheats on the boyfriend and leaves with another man. The lyrics and the songs are much more twisted. And maybe that's why they stuck out so much to so many musicians, especially English musicians at the time, like Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones. And they took inspiration from that, and you can see how their music reflects in that inspiration. This stuff, I guess, didn't stick out to them as much. Very interesting. Secondly, I guess I'd say is what I find cool about this is I would have never seen that if it wasn't for this channel. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.